All right, so the first section of Chapter 3 is 3.1 Cell Theory. So this is going to be some history of the cell and also the three components that make up the actual cell theory. First of all, the cell theory grew out of the work of many scientists. So it's not just one person's work, there's many people, and also through improvements in technology, specifically the microscope. So these are some of the guys that contributed to the cell theory. We have Hooke, Leeuwenhoek, Schleiden, Schwann, and Virchow. So more was learned about cells as microscopes improved. So these were some of the drawings that Van Leeuwenhoek actually drew when he was looking at a sample of pond scum. So he's probably looking at a variety of protists, maybe some amoebas, things like that. And these are what he drew, what he thought he saw through his microscope. He called these animalcules because he thought they looked like little miniature animals, which you can kind of see, I suppose. For instance, in that upper left-hand portion, that kind of looks like a snake, I guess. But that was his interpretation of what he was looking at. The cell theory is a unifying concept in biology, so that means it's pretty universally held. Everybody buys into this idea. Early studies led to the development of the cell theory. It has three main components or principles. The first is that all organisms are made of cells. So anything that is an organism that's alive is going to be made up of cells, and that doesn't matter if it's a maple tree, if it's you, if it's your dog, if it's a blade of grass, or if it's a daisy. Everything is made up of cells. All organisms, rather, are made up of cells. Early studies led to the development of this cell theory. So again, it has the three principles. All organisms are made of cells, and all existing cells are produced by other living cells. So nothing that has already died can produce a living cell. Nothing that has never been alive can produce a living cell. So you can't get a cell from a rock. You can't get a cell from your dining room table because it might be wood, but it's been long dead. The cell is the most basic unit of life. So this would be the smallest thing that would be considered life would be a cell. So again, those three principal portions of the cell theory are that all organisms are made of cells, all existing cells come from other living cells, and the cell is the most basic unit of life. So, a couple categories that we lump cells into. One is prokaryotic. Prokaryotic cells are going to lack a nucleus and most internal structures of eukaryotic cells. So in a prokaryotic cell, the genetic material is just going to be floating out here in the cytoplasm. So, or it's going to be held, maybe is a better word, here in the cytoplasm. So all cells share certain characteristics, and cells tend to be microscopic. I mean, there's going to be some that maybe aren't, but most are microscopic. All cells are going to be enclosed by a membrane, so that's what's being shown here to you in this like pinkish purple color is the cell membrane. And all cells are going to be filled with cytoplasm, which is this jelly-like substance that acts as a base for these other organelles to be located in. So again, those two types of cells are eukaryotic and prokaryotic cells. We just talked a little bit about prokaryotic cells, so now let's talk about eukaryotic cells. Eukaryotic cells do have a nucleus, which in this picture is stained kind of a blue or a purple color. So this is the nucleus. This is where genetic material is going to be held in the cell. Prokaryotic cells do not have membrane-bound organelles, but eukaryotic cells do. So that is what is being pointed out, and it's this darker brown color here. These are other organelles within the cell. These are too. This just happens to be pointing at this brown, but these are organelles, all of this, that are studded inside of this cell. So again, prokaryotic cells are not going to have a nucleus, so their genetic material is in the cytoplasm itself rather than being held in a central location. And prokaryotic cells do not have membrane-bound organelles. And that takes us through 3.1. All right, good work, guys.